Hello friends, welcome back to PlayStation News, hoping you are doing great, and here are 5 gaming stories that you need to know. Starting with the next Naughty Dog game and some rumors that it may be very different from the linear story games that the studio is used to make. This comes from a recent episode of the Min Max show where host Ben Hanson mentioned that he heard a few things about the game from someone who has worked on it. The tone of what he heard is that people are not ready for how amazing the game is going to be, and he was also offered a comparison with a game that has a lot of player freedom. Now, Henson didn't mention the game to avoid people pointing them out if it doesn't turn out the same thing. This doesn't really tell us much about what the game is, but we know how linear Naughty Dog games are. And even if they had opened certain sections like combat, for example, that you could tackle in different order and in different ways, however you wanted, they were still linear games. We'll have to wait until Naughty Dog is ready to talk about it and learn if this means that it's more of an open world or an open area game, but what do you think? Let me know in the comments. Next we have Sony's new PlayStation Spectral Super Resolution, or PSSR for short, that was introduced during the Mark Cerny presentation, and now Digital Foundry has tested it against AMD's FSR 3.1 and NVIDIA DLSS 3.7, and the results are very promising. For this test they use Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart with the settings on PC mimicking a PS5 Pro, and the Sony tech manages to outperform FSR in elements such as particle effects like the particles in weapons or the confetti in the parade scene. Another example is transparent elements like hologram signs that look low resolution in FSR, but PSSR applies some anti-aliasing to holograms and makes them look a little bit better. On FSR, image quality on objects tend to flicker when they get hit by light, while PSSR handles that much better. There's also the fact that PSSR removes the fizzle blur effect that is around characters while they are moving with FSR. Plus there's the grass that looks way more natural with PSSR than FSR, even if it's not perfect. The comparison against DLSS is in NVIDIA's favor, but even then PSSR shows great potential. For PSSR, certain areas of the image have some sort of flickering compared to DLSS, and moving geometry can also have flickering issues, or regarding the stability of objects in an image that can have small issues where they are still or moving. PSSR images are softer and lack the sharpness compared to DLSS, although the images overall don't look that bad. Ray tracing is another aspect that lacks a little bit on PSSR compared to DLSS, since there's some sort of ghosting trailing the image on certain elements. PSSR did get a win in regard to resolving the overall checkerboard image in comparison to DLSS, despite all of the downsides in their comparison. This is just a test for one game, and Digital Foundry says that they want to continue testing it in more games to learn more about the tech and how it can change from game to game. But again, for the first version of Sony's AI upscaler, the results are very promising, and it's something exciting for PS5 Pro users. I may not agree with the $700 price tag for PS5 Pro, but this is one of the positives to have the console out so that they can continue improving on the technology for future uses. Now, does this feature excite you to get a PS5 Pro? Sound off in the comments. Now, one of the criticisms of the PS5 Pro is the lack of a disk drive, and it has been a constant discussion throughout this generation, the all digital feature that these consoles offer. For example, Sony and Microsoft both offer the first digital only console this generation, and we usually have some games that get digital releases only. So in case you are wondering why these companies are making these decisions, we have the new stats for the 2024 digital sales from January to August by Matt Piscatella from Circana. Compared to the same period last year, the PS5 has seen a 3% increase in selling more digital games versus physical, and it has gone from 75% last year to 78% this year. Xbox is the platform that sells the most on digital versus physical, with over 90% of those sales being digital downloads. Then we have the Switch, which is still in the middle with 53% sales, getting a better mix of digital versus physical. Just some numbers to get into perspective that digital is no longer a future but a present. Now, what format do you prefer for games right now, disc or digital? Sound off in the comments. Now, if you are still sticking to physical and you like Black Myth Wukong, well, there's good news as the game is getting a disc version very soon. The game has been rated again in the ESRB for PS5, Xbox Series and PC, and the official account for the game said that with the master disc for Black Myth Wukong, the physical release will be available very soon. How soon? Well, how about today? We had reliable leaker Wukong saying that the PS5 version of the game is out today, October 21st, for $65 in the US, while Europe will have to wait a little bit, but it will be out very soon for €69.99 euros. The game launched back in August for PS5, but only on digital, so anyone who was waiting for a disc version can now jump into Game Science's Epic. Now, were you waiting for the game to be on disc, or did you already play it? Let me know in the comments. We also have a story on Bloober team and what's next for the studio, as they claim to be done making shitty games, and how likely is for them to keep making Silent Hill. This is from a GameSpot and IGN interview with studio co-directors Jacek Dzieva and Wojciech Piejko, and sorry if that's not how you pronounce their names, but I don't speak Polish, sorry. Now, in these interviews they were talking about Chronos the New Dawn, which is the new game that they revealed at the Xbox Partner event last week, and is coming in 2025 for PS5, Xbox Series and PC. Dzieva said that they want to find their niche and they think that they found it and now want to evolve it. Dzieva also said, and I quote, "How that happens is more complex, but it also happens organically in a way. Like with 2016's Layers of Fear, people in the studio were like, okay, we made some shitty games before, but we can evolve." Piejko then thinks that they have a team that loves horror, so it would not be easy for them to switch to other genre, and they don't want to do that either. Regarding Silent Hill, Piejko said that they are always open, and if they like the opportunity they will take it. He said, and I quote, "There are opportunities that you have to seize, like Silent Hill 2, you can remake the Legend. So yeah, I do believe that everything is possible." Now, Bloober team has already said that Silent Hill 2 remake is not the end of their relationship with Konami. So whether that means they will get to return and make another remake, or who knows, even their own Silent Hill entry, remains to be seen. But it's great that they get to keep working on the series. Now, would you like Bloober team to continue working on Silent Hill, whether a remake or a new entry? Let me know in the comments. And there you go, that's all the news that I have for you today. Let me know what you think about any of these stories in the comments. And remember that you can find all of the sources in the description below. If you enjoyed this video, consider giving it a thumbs up and subscribing for more PlayStation news videos like this. And with that, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.